We are here in Weston, Massachusetts, a suburb of Boston, just a little north of the city, and right off of Route 128. And this is the Norumbaga Tower, and I have been aware of this for quite a while, but the time I actually investigated this tower, it was a result of getting a book called Weird New England, a picture of the book, use the book here in front of the tower. And it is a very wonderful little book. It has a lot of interesting stories of places in New England, and one of them is this tower here. And the tower was built in 1889 by a Harvard professor, Eben Horsford, who believed that this was an ancient Norse community, 1000 AD, and there is an Indian legend and also a legend in American folklore that there was a lost civilization called Norumbaga. And in the book, it's an interesting story of how a man back in the 1600s came over here, ended up in the Gulf of Mexico, walked 2,000 miles to Maine, and when he got back to England, he told the story of this very fascinating place where there was gold and all kinds of riches and what have you. Other people have thought they found it here, and on the tower you'll see an old an engraving here. It talks about the fort. It mentions Leif Erikson, the Norse explorer, and or Leif Erikson. And anyway, there is lots of evidence that there was definitely some Norse communities here. And actually there was recordings of the Norsemen trading with the Indians and then eventually fighting them. And there was a book on that subject. But I think it's just we had a little field trip here with my children exploring the tower. It's remarkably clean, and it's, again, something worth looking into. And this excellent little book here, somewhat spooky with some of the tales, but I highly recommend it. And a number of these places that we've already visited, but now we have many other great venues in this wonderful part of the country to explore. Let me just take a walk, slowly show you how it's a good-sized tower, beautifully constructed, like a Gothic architecture. Probably used rocks right from stones right from the area, and it overlooks the Charles River, which turns its way through Boston, into Boston, and leads into the Boston Harbor. What do you think of the tower, kids?
Good. Awesome.
Yeah, it's spooky? A little spooky, yeah. What do you think, Emily?
I didn't even get to go in it.
Wow, okay. What about you, Christina? Interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't see us at the top.
What's that?
You didn't see us.
No, I did. No, did you?
Go back and look.
Let's take a little walk around the tower. I hate walking with these cameras. Some people get a little dizzy when they're watching these. But since I'm just an amateur, I'm not an expert filmmaker, you'll have to bear with me. It's barred up, but it looks like entrance is possible, and it shows the stairs here. And again, it's pretty clean, relatively clean for a suburban or urban park.
I went in through there.
You did, huh? That's great. And here we see the good old Charles River, or as we say, the Chuck. And then I'm going to slowly turn the camera and get another vantage point from a little bit below the tower as it faces the river. So, anyway, this is one of these little spots, a little historical gem that's not too well known, but sort of right in the middle of us. And this book, Weird New England, again, it has some stories that I may not particularly believe, but very fascinating book, and I recommend it if you love history and maybe exploring some of these odd places. Let's hold the book up one more time for the audience. Weird New England. Let me just zoom in on here a little bit. And once you put it up, who's the author of the book? Authors of the book?
Joseph A.
Hold it up to the camera. Okay, it's Joseph Citro, your guide to New England local legends and best kept secrets. It's probably available on Amazon. I bought this copy at Liberty Books in Concord, New Hampshire. What do you think? There we go. And there's the little story here of what we see here, the Golden City of Norumbaga.